everybody. Thank you so much for coming for this soulful conversation. Before we start, I want to tell you guys a little bit of a story of how this started. So I host a membership of soulpreneurs. Everybody in this membership have their businesses, but they had normal 3D businesses, normal traditional business. And at one point, they knew that they were serving a purpose, but they didn't know how to truly serve their purpose from their higher self. And when they come into the membership, we learn all about the intuition. But they were always asking me, who else out there is doing this? How does it work? Does it even work? And I knew that in the world, there's a lot of us that are actually succeeding at this. There's writers, there's physicians, there's doctors, there's even hairdressers that have an entire business that is completely soul-led. Everybody can have a soul-led businesses. This is why I decided to invite people that have a soul-led business and that actually want other people to know how to have their soul-led businesses. And this is how we all came together. And today I have 4 amazing speakers with me, and I'm going to invite each of them to present themselves so that all of you know who they are, what their amazing work is. And at the end of this panel, we're going to go back into their business. And if you like what they say, you have their handles on the corner here. So go onto their social media, go talk to them, because everybody on this panel is eager to speak with you. And today we're going to start with Vic. If you would like to introduce yourself, introduce your business, and we're going to go to everybody else after.
So my name is Dr. Vic Manzo. I am a quantum success coach, also a chiropractor. And my business is helping individuals get unstuck and share, blending the two of ancient wisdom and quantum physics together. Science is finally catching up to help individuals really lead a soul-led business, but lead in a way that's more deeper than just, I want to make a certain amount of money, I want to do this at a certain level, have these certain things. It's how do we find fulfillment at the end of it? And that's kind of what I do and what I help individuals with, to one, get unstuck, find what really your blocks are that are holding you back, and then be able to share principles in a specific way to help you get to tap into that unlimited potential.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you, Vic. Jamie, we're going to go to you now.
Hi, sure. So I'm a professional coach and positive psychologist. And really my business is serving ambitious individuals, the high achievers, the hustlers, who are constantly feeling burnt out. They get disconnected from their authenticity. They get disconnected from spirit. They find themselves sort of lost in the grind, as it were. And I offer programs and individual coaching that help them really reclaim their self through self-care practices, holistic self-care. And I focus a lot on radical self-acceptance and personal growth.
Wow, that's amazing. Now I want to work with both of you. When I hear Kirti and Keel, I'm going to need more people to work with. All right. Kirti, how about you?
So I'm Kirti and I'm an energy alchemist. I got this name because I have various modalities under my belt. I am a Reiki healer, I'm a hypnotist, and so many things. So I help ladies, especially ladies who are going through depression and going through confusion about their life, about what they need to do ahead. And I use NLP as well as spiritual counseling to help them come out of it and live happily as I'm happily living right now.
Beautiful. How about you, Kyle? Sorry, I just destroyed your name. I've been practicing the whole morning to not mess it up, and there you go.
Hi, I'm Kyle. I'm a impact sales coach. So I help entrepreneurs come back to their hearts and express more of them so they can create impact in the world through quantum physics. and also through the power of going within. And I provide them with different tools through modalities that I've learned along the way, systems, processes, and scriptures to follow to break through their own limiting beliefs and barriers to allow them to serve more people in the world.
That is awesome. So I'm going to ask all of you 3 questions. We're all going to answer the same question. And I'm really interested to know the truth. You know, everybody's interested to know the truth. I know that for me, going from having a traditional business to a soul-led business was intentional. I really thought about it, but at the beginning, I wasn't using the right words. I was afraid to use all the energetic words. That's a long, long time ago. I was doing business strategy, and I would use really strategic words, and I wasn't happy with it. I wasn't fulfilled with it. And when I started really owning my truth and talking with the real energy words, it's like if my whole world opened, right? And so my first question is, reflecting on the early days of your soul-led business, what were some key hurdles you encountered while trying to balance your spiritual principles with business realities, and how did you navigate them? And we're going to start with Kyle with this question, because I'm super interested in going from cells, purely traditional cells, to all spiritual. How does that happen? Like what in the early days made that happen?
I feel like it happened through a natural progression of falling in love with the sales psychology, and then realizing the quantum physics side of it by real understanding that the healing we do as individuals on self actually reflects out externally to the projections you get in regards to a sales process or objections you receive in a sales process, which really allowed me to create presence in my own being, but also allow me to see the impact that I can create in a room from the people that I come in connection with through my own journey that I've had to go through to become a soul-led entrepreneur.
Oh, that's super interesting. So because you talked about quantum, we're going to go to Vic. Do you need me to re-say the question, or you're okay?
I think I got it. It's basically just what my journey was when I first started to make that shift into the soul-led business. Yeah, I got out, I started my chiropractic office, and the biggest hurdle I had to overcome was trusting the process, because I let my mind lead the way. So I listened to all the gurus in business and self-help and, read 60 books a year. I was like, okay, 80 to 120 is what I'll do. And I did all that for 5 years, got the success that I was looking for financially, but I almost wanted to leave the profession. I was just so burned out, unfulfilled. And when I made the shift, I had to let go. And man, the universe really teach me that one, because when I started to really tap into what really mattered for me and what I really wanted to create for the world and leave a mark to help in my own way, what was interesting is I took a 40% hit financially. I was just changing my practice around and getting more specific to what I wanted to do. And from that, I had to my wife looks at me and I'm like, hold on, it's like a storm. You're just making sure you're going to get through it. I was like, we're going to get through this, and I had to learn to let go through the process. But that has been the biggest hurdle for me, is just to trust. I'm a type A driver personality. So the let go and just let it all just take however it's going to go was probably the biggest hurdle for me to overcome in the beginning when I started to trust that journey. But I could tell you at the end of it, it was glorious, because everything came back beyond that, and working less and living more, being able to travel more and have more time with family and all the things that all these hobbies I wanted to do and so much more.
Yeah, that's really nice. I like that. How about you, Jamie?
Yeah, I resonate so much with what Vic just shared, actually. And what's interesting is I'm actually still in the early days of my shift. This has been recent for me. Once I became certified as a coach, I started just bringing that into my corporate job, and using the skills and techniques that I've learned to help, develop employees professionally. And I've done a lot of leadership training for different companies. And when I decided to start building my business, I did it as a side hustle, which I think a lot of people start that way. So I started it as a side hustle. And I did, like Vic, I did all the things that all the successful people in my industry have done. I read the books, I watched the podcasts, I did all the things, tried to get a handle on social media marketing and all that fun stuff. And I started to realize that I was burning myself out. So the very thing I was helping people get through, which was burnout and work-life balance and things of that nature, I was doing it to myself. I was burning myself out. And I finally decided, I kind of got that hit from the universe that I needed to make a change, and I needed to reconnect with spirit, with my spiritual side, and with that which is greater than me, and find a new way of doing things. And so I sat and I, went through some meditation exercises. I consulted oracle cards, and I was like, okay, what do I need to be doing? Like, what is happening? What am I doing wrong? And everything that kept coming back to me was just reconnect with authenticity and stop trying to do what all the other people do, and just show up and lead with your heart, not your head. And when I made that decision, I put in my notice at my corporate job. And even though it's the scariest thing, it feels like everything is opening up around me as a result of that. Connecting with this opportunity to be here with all of you today actually is a big part of that. So it seems like since I've made that decision to listen to what the universe was telling me, things are starting to unfold, and I'm finding myself in front of people and connecting with people that are just absolutely meant to be in my path. And it's really amazing.
Yeah, that's beautiful. The universe does have a way to let us know what path we should be taking, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
Kirti, how about you?
For me, it's totally opposite to all of these, actually, because I went deep into spirituality first, and I was actually great at counseling or coaching people on their own without getting certified. So I used to help everyone. I had my calendar booked, and people used to come. I used to help them. So I wasn't taking it as a business until my friend says that you are already coaching people. So I said, I need certification in that. And how do I do that is I connect to the energies of my clients and come to the easiest methods to help them heal that specific thing in their life. So it was like, how can I do that? I am from a family of all people going to job 9 to 5, and no one supported me, nothing. And my ex-husband, I'm divorced, but my ex-husband had a business, but he didn't have that kind of knowledge. He can impart me and help me out. So I was all alone, just an idea. And so I started out trying to build spirituality as a business. And I'm still going on, ending it many times and restarting it from the scratch, because every time I get many clients, I go down, get shut down everything, and went into my own journey and working on myself. So it is really hard to keep going on. I feel right now I'm in a process where I'm back, that you have to stabilize this thing as a business. So I'm in a process of doing all of this.
Yeah, that's beautiful. When you connect your business to your higher self, or however you want to see it, to your internal knowledge, your intuition, it just seems like the path has a certain light to it, and you know which side you should go on. It's like, oh yeah, this is going to hurt a little bit. This is going to not hurt. It might be taking a little bit longer, but it's going to work. Or, well, I don't know about that side, right? So we kind of like all do our thing, but connecting to our intuition when we're making business just makes it so much easier at the end of the day. And I would like to talk about getting to that easier space, because when we're going there, Well, we go through a lot of things psychologically, self-doubt is probably the biggest one, right? I don't know about you guys, but like I hear it in Vic's story where, well, I'm a chiropractor, I'm doing pretty good, but at the same time, I'm just not happy, you know? So what were the toughest moments of self-doubt that you experienced in the first 3 years of your business? And how did you manage to push through and stay motivated?
Assume that question's for me. Yes.
Yes. It's for everybody, but I did start with you.
I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, I would say the first 3 years of the business, I did things so backwards. I let fear get in the way. I let doubt get in the way. But there was always this voice inside me to keep moving forward. Like just don't give up. Like just keep going, and it's all going to work out eventually. In that process from the chiro side, but I revamped myself because going from a chiropractor, after my experience with everything, I decided to do coaching on the side because I was like, man, I need to help business owners, not get stuck in these ruts and really start to express more of the uniqueness of who they are. I just kept feeling like a heaviness when I think of entrepreneurs, and I'm like, I need to do something. That's just kind of led me. And so I started coaching in that realm, and then I'm like, okay, I'm a chiropractor, but I'm also now a coach. And a lot of times I get the question, how did you go from chiropractic to coaching? Because now I do full-time coaching, and I just got back into chiropractic a little bit. And it's one of those things. So I'll speak more from a coaching perspective because I thought I handled all the fears and everything that happened in the first 3 years of my chiropractic business. And when I decided to walk away from my business in 2021 to move out of state with my family, because we just couldn't sell it. And what ended up happening is, talk about fear and doubt. I just all of a sudden had this wonderful life income coming in that was way more than what I was doing in coaching. And I just went full ship and risked into like, I'm going to believe in myself. This is what I want to do, and so forth. So that talk about the self-doubt, that really came strong. How to overcome it. What I did this time was a little different in the beginning, because at the end of the day, we're always emitting a field of energy of what we're doing. And your body always lets you know where you are. And for me, what it was is, how do I reset my energy and not get stuck into my limiting beliefs? And from a neuroscience perspective, I would use that in the sense of like different tools and modalities that would come up to help me not go back in that doubt of fear. Because at the end of the day, I understood that I had a choice. That was the difference. Because when I was in my first 3 years, it was like, as a chiropractic trying to start my business, I'm like, I'm going to do everything I can. I don't know if this is going to work. I had all these limiting beliefs. I wasn't aware as much. Almost 8 years later, I am aware. The feelings still come. The programs still run. But I'm able to say, hey, back off. I got this. Hey, I don't need this energy coming up. I don't need these thoughts coming in of fear and worry and doomsday predictions. Here's what I need to do. Let me just get centered. Let me make sure the energy I'm putting out there into the field, whatever you want to call it, I want to make sure that energy is resonating in an alignment to what I want to create for myself, that future self, and then bring that into the present. So the big thing is, for me, what helped me get over all that, just to summarize everything, is that it really is just resetting my energy, and which then is going to change the feelings, which is going to then change my thoughts. And then it allows me to stay more in a response rather than reacting to life and so forth.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for the walkthrough. If you're listening to this, you just got golden nuggets here. All right. Jamie, we're going to go to you with the same question. What were some of the toughest moments of self-doubt you experienced in the first years of your business, and how did you manage to push through and stay motivated?
It's so interesting. I feel like I'm so aligned with what Vic is saying. It's fascinating me right now. But I think that I think similarly, the moments of self-doubt still come. I think there were definitely some huge moments of self-doubt when I launched my first online course, and I ran webinars to pull people in. And my very first webinar that I was so ready for, I got on and no one showed up. And it was just like, ugh, I just felt this weight. And I think similarly to what Vic was saying, I felt like that pull. It was like, no, you have to keep going. This is just something to learn from. This is something that you need to take something out of it and turn it into something else. And so I just kept going. And something that I've always kind of remembered in my mind, I remember taking a manifestation course. And the woman who ran it, she said, you're never time away from what you want, you're a vibration away. And knowing that and keeping that in my mind, it made me start to think in those moments of self-doubt, much like that webinar, where is my vibration right now? And what can I do to raise it? And through, years of my own self-healing and self-discovery, I've sort of uncovered different things that I can do to raise my vibration, singing being one of them, doing something creative, being in nature. And so I remember in that moment, just pulling up a playlist on my Spotify and singing for like an hour until my throat started to hurt. And by the end of it, I was full of this new inspiration, and I was able to create something new and start putting that out into the world and like bringing people in. And so I think that that's kind of my go-to, is checking in with where I'm at, understanding that any moment where something isn't working, it's not me, it's not personal, it's something is not aligned, something needs to shift. And it gives me that opportunity to check my vibration and see if I need to raise myself a little bit higher.
Wow, that's really good. Checking in, being in your body is probably what my people hear me say the most. Drop in, check your vibration, check your frequency, and see where you're at, because we want to be aligned. All right. Well, we're going to go with the same question with both of you guys. We're going to go with, I'm going to ruin your name again. I'm so sorry. Let's call you Neil. It's going to be so much easier for me. So,
It's okay. Reframe the question again. So what was the first,
what were the toughest moments of self-doubt you experienced in the first years of your business? And how did you manage to push through and stay motivated?
Well, I really relate to both shares, and thank you again, Jamie and Vic, because I appreciate it. So I believe, like, I think the biggest thing for me is like realizing how, like, we start this path, and sometimes, well, for me anyways, not realizing how much patience we need to have and trust we need to have in ourselves to do it. Like, I'm only sort of fairly new, but like I've been on it for quite some time, and it's like self-doubt has always creeped up in my mind, and being able to have the right people around me has really allowed me to take that next step. And there's thoughts of giving up, but it's like I know there's a stronger urge than what's of me to pull through this. And I have learned many tools to give me the strength to get out of this. And when I have a feeling of self-doubt, I just picture myself, okay, what would my higher self say? What would Kyle want? What would bigger Kyle want him to know? And that's when I just really reflect and like, okay, look where I'm at. This is where I'm at. Okay, we can get through this together.
Together. Yes, together. I love this. It's not like my human and my soul. We are one. Everything is one. Everything is energy, and energy is everything. So yes, getting through whatever you're going through together is beautiful. Thank you, Kyle. I will not mess up your name again, I promise.
I'll just keep saying Kyle. So
Kirti, your turn. Do you need me to re-say the question, or you're good?
Good, I'm good. When Jamie says that she did webinars and it was like no one showed up, that's the same thing for me. And when there's no one else around you whom you can ask for help or ask for motivation, it is like thousands of tons on your head and say, just shut it out, shut that off. Right. So self-doubt always stayed with me. And right now, while I was listening to each one of them, I was thinking, am I 12 years into this thing? Or am I first year doing it for the first year? Because I feel like I'm still not there, and I'm keep moving on without noticing that how much this self-doubt comes till now. But yes, now in the starting, when there's no one to get on board with you and ask for support, then it is really difficult. You must join some community or somewhere where you can be with people. I joined Facebook groups to feel that feeling that people are like me and I can understand their language and they can understand my language. So it was a little easy. But now I feel that you have to keep patting on yourself and saying that you can do it. Yes, you will go down and people won't show up. Maybe first time or even the 10th time you are launching something, but keep moving on. Because I used to shut down at that time. I used to shut down for month or 2 months and thinking that no one is going to come. What's the thing? So as Jimmy said, I can resonate with her totally because I started reminding myself that one day people will come. So that's how you grow and you let go of that self-doubt that will keep moving on with you.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you. Keep on moving is really a thing. But when we keep on moving, we need to keep on moving with clarity. I see where a lot of people in their first years, where they fell is they want to do it all. They want to be it all. They want to have it all. And they're not really clear what the all is. I'm not saying only do one thing. I'm saying the universe will feel the frequency you're in. And the universe will bring back to you what you need, whatever that is, right? And so having clarity in your business is super important. And here is my next question. And we're going to start with Vic. I think we got a little flow here. During the initial phase of your business, what helped you stay focused on your soul-led mission? And how did you ensure your purpose remained clear amidst the challenges?
Yeah, I love this question. And it's the thing I work on the most with clients. And it's the biggest thing that I always recommend is you got to have a vision. It's just the way things work in life, in our mind. You know, if we can't see in our mind, we're not gonna be able to hold it in our hand. If you cannot, how can you notice something in your reality, in your consciousness, but not be able to see it? So I love when you brought the word clarity. I'm like, oh, this is right up my avenue. So for me in my journey, even no matter how many hard hits, we've all had them, right? Sharon, you had the webinar and no one shows up. I can't tell you how many times I have workshops in my office and no one would be there, but I still present anyhow, because it was the vision I had in my head to go, you know what? This is not fun. Like it wasn't like I was like, oh, great, nobody showed. I'm going to go present anyhow. It was the total opposite. I was like, all this negative thoughts started coming in. I'm not worthy. I'm not able to, maybe this is not for me. Sometimes it came up, but then it was like, no, I'm going to present anyhow because that's not me. This is who I am. And I have to, whatever I have to go through to get through that journey to get there, it's the same thing. Just like when I started coaching, it was the same thing where, have the big webinar, free class, offering it. You put all this energy and all excited. No one shows, but still present. So vision is the biggest thing you have. And it's the vision of not just like, oh, this is who I want to become in the future. It's what is the deepest level of that? What I always tell clients, like, why do you exist? And when I understood that and what was my main purpose in life, not just in business, but my totality in life. And that's sometimes can come easy and some can come hard for some. But when I figured that out, not really figured, it was more of a feeling. But when I got to that point, then I was like, okay, now I understand. Now, how do I keep that energy showing up in every area of my life? That's how I know I'm in alignment now. And when I started to do that, that allowed me then to do all those things. So I didn't have to be like going all over the place because being a type A driver and a little ADHD, I want to do all the things in the world. But it became a point where it's like, does this feel right or does this not feel right? Does the gut show up here and tell me this is what I should be doing? Is that an alignment? If it is, great, let's go. If it isn't, then I'm not going to do it. And I'm not going to say I was perfect at that in the beginning, but over time, that helped, because when you have that clarity, then all of a sudden you can start to choose what aligns with that. And alignment is everything, not just because I'm a chiropractor, but alignment is everything when it comes to that, because now all your energy is becoming focused like a laser. And when you emit that signal out to the universe or the field or whatever you want to call it, you're going to attract things. You know, you're saying like I think Jamie, you were saying like one, you're not a thought away or action away, it's a vibration away. And that helps you align to that vibration even more, to then attract these crazy things that come out of left field. And they're not really crazy. But if you tell it to somebody, they're just like, wow, that came out of nowhere. And it's just like, yeah, but you're in that alignment. So you're attracting the things that you need or what you desire, who you want to become, and so forth. So vision is the most critical thing, in my opinion. And everything that I've studied in my own experience is that to have that and then get as clear as you can with it, because clarity is everything that's going to allow you to attract what you desire.
Yeah, definitely. That vision that, you know, like Jamie said, the vibration is what the universe understands, right? So in the quantum, what you teach, Vic, I think that Kirti and Neil, you guys also go into that quantum field a little bit, but it is a vibration. It's not a thought. Oh, I'm going to be successful today, and the quantum's going to bring this in the 3D. That's not how it works, right? It is a vibration. It is a vision, and it's all in the clarity. If you're not clear about your vision, the universe doesn't know how to bring this back forth here in the 3D where we live. So thank you for what you just said. And we're going to go to Jamie because now we have our flow. So Jamie, during the initial phases of your business, what helped you stay focused on your soul-led mission, and how did you ensure your purpose remained clear amidst the challenges?
Yeah, I think very similar to Vic actually is coming back to my vision and what I see. And I think it's who said the quote, "Be the change you want to see in the world"? Is that Gandhi? But I think that's kind of what I come back to, because the whole motivation behind what got me started on this path was seeing over and over people that I worked with, just in my corporate job, colleagues, coworkers, and then also people that I started working with once I became a coach, seeing them feeling so lost and so burnt out and full of anxiety, going through bouts of depression. And every time I talk to them, they come to me wanting time management. They're like, "Oh, Jamie, I need help with time management." I'm like, "What do you mean time management?" Seems like there's a whole lot going on here. And just seeing them like not knowing what to do with themselves and seeing them feeling absolutely miserable, even though outwardly in their mind, they've done all the right things. They've done everything they were supposed to do to be a success. And they've gotten so far in life, and yet somehow they don't feel good. And when I think about those people and I think about how I used to be that same person, I start to see this vision. I get that clarity. Like, I see a world where everyone is doing what they truly are meant to be doing. They're feeling satisfied, they're feeling fulfilled, and we're able to have these open, vulnerable conversations with one another in the world, like human to human, like having true, authentic connections with each other. And it gets to be this like grand design in my head where it's like, actually, the world could be so much different if we all just came back to our truth and our authenticity, and we were able to talk to each other on a level that brought us all higher up in our vibration. Rather than sucking energy out of each other, we're actually giving each other energy. And what an amazing place that would be. And so anytime I start to kind of get distracted or get caught up in the social media game, which seems to be where business lives nowadays, I just remind myself of that kind of bigger vision and that bigger design and the world that I really want to live in and that I want to see exist. And I want to be a part of that. So.
Yeah, that's a beautiful vision. I love it. How about you, Neil? I'm going to go with Neil again. I'm so sorry. I don't know why your name doesn't stick.
It's okay. Thank you for that share, Jamie. Like, that was really really potent, because I see I'm still in the corporate world, but I'm also transitioning. And the question was around, reframe the question again. It was around,
yes, for sure. I'm sorry. During the initial phase of your business, what helped you stay focused on your soul-led mission, and how did you ensure your purpose remained clear amidst the challenges?
the biggest the one thing is like actually like cutting down to the clarity of why you want to do what you want to do. And there's so much noise on social media, on different websites, on different modalities, all the other stuff you learn. And it's just coming back to yourself and realizing what you want to create for your own presence. And one thing that I found is removing all the distractions. And that may include social media. That may include everything that's distracting you from that. And I know for me, a big thing is I want everyone, it's the why. It's like, why are you doing what you're doing? Because there's an intention for every action you're doing. And if you don't know that intention, well, then you're lost. And for me, it was allowing myself, okay, why am I doing this? So I can create a better world for society. I always like to say, be the love of the world. And I want to be the permission slip for people to take that change for themselves and show them there's a better way to live. And if I can create it through my own transformation, well, then that's going to get people along the way. And that authenticity piece, that vulnerability piece, my biggest thing is to allow people to come back to their hearts and express themselves in the most authentic way they can through their truth and through being who they are. And especially in the corporate space, that is so shamed upon. Like, it's unbelievable. I see it day in, day out. And if we can just bring people up instead of bringing them down, well, that's when the world becomes a better place. And that's when we can all move forward and create a better world, create change for the future.
Yeah, create change for the future is beautiful. So now we have our permission slip. We can all be authentic. Thank you for this. Kirti, you need me to reframe the question, or you're good?
Yes. It's better to be on track.
Yeah, perfect. During the initial phase of your business, what helped you stay focused on your soul-led mission, and how did you ensure your purpose remained clear amidst the challenges?
Okay, so my purpose was that I had been into so much of negativity, or people surrounding me with so much intense darkness, that I wanted that what is going on with me shouldn't be going on with other ladies, or specifically ladies, but other people. So that kept me on this path. Whenever I had that low moment that I will give up, I won't do it, then I reminded myself why I started this. I have to keep moving on to help others who are still going on, just like me in last 5 years ago or something like that. But people are still there. So I am here reminding me each and every day that I need to push myself to help them come out of it and show them that there is so much light, there's so much love, and that is my purpose. Because of that, I keep moving on and on since the first year till now, and I will keep moving on until I make difference in the world somehow. Even if it is the minutest difference, I want to do that. Keep doing it.
Thank you so much for this. Yeah, there is a lot of light and a lot of love out there. So thank you for moving on and not giving up. All right, now we're going to break our flow. We're going to go with Jamie. Jamie, can you share a transformative experience where positive psychology played a crucial role in helping a client achieve their highest aspirations?
Yeah, so I can think of a particular client who still is working in the corporate world, who is one of those people that came to me wanting time management help because she felt like she wasn't being productive enough in her role. And had aspirations of moving up. She wanted to get promoted and go to the next level within her company. And through a lot of, discovery and different sessions, conversations, what we kind of came to was sort of letting go of some old ideas, some old beliefs, things of that nature. And there was one particular exercise that I remember we did. So a big part of positive psychology is the idea of radical acceptance, which is fully embracing a situation as it is, even if you don't like the facts. So, but it's bringing yourself back to the facts of the situation, recognizing that these are things that exist, whether you like it or not. It is what it is. And it's finding a way to move forward. And a big part of helping her kind of live into this idea of radical acceptance of mistakes she's made along the way, different maybe bridges that she's burned on her path, things of that nature. I took her through a forgiveness exercise. And this is a beautiful tool. I've done it for myself and my own healing, but it's such a wonderful way to let go of old situations that are still causing pain or still bringing up, the limiting beliefs, the self-doubt, things of that nature. And it's an exercise of kind of going through any particular person or situation that has caused pain, whether it's by yourself or by someone else, and you go through this sort of process of understanding that none of it was personal, none of it had anything to do with you, and being able to just kind of say, you know what, I accept that this is what happened. This is what I can take from the situation, and I'm going to move forward now. I'm no longer going to hold on to this pain because it does not serve me. And I think taking her through that exercise was one of the bigger catalysts for some of the shifts that she started to make. And she has, in fact, moved up that corporate ladder as she wanted to. But I think what's most amazing about it is through that process of kind of moving through this success ladder that she was hoping to go through, she has sort of reclaimed her voice in that process. She's learned how to set boundaries. So she's not burning herself out in order to achieve the things that she wants, but she's able to say, like, clearly, yes, I want to take on this particular project, but here's my boundaries. Here's the times that I'm available. Here's the deadlines that I'm willing to commit to, because I need to look after myself throughout this process. And it's been really amazing to watch that. But I think it did start with that exercise. That was such a big, powerful shift.
Yeah, being forgiving with everything that we think or we believe is ours, right, is a big thing. Because at the end of the day, it is only a belief. It is only a system that was put into ourselves by what we've learned from society. Most of it is not even ours. So that's beautiful. All right. Neil, what strategies do you use to inspire and empower others to see their potential despite physical challenges?
What strategies do I use
to inspire and empower others to see their potential despite challenges, physical challenges, or any challenges?
Yeah, thank God I had to externally process that to understand the question. For me, I believe, like, I've grown up, like, I was diagnosed with a disease from the age of 2, that affects 2.6 million people globally. So for me, it's not a strategist per se. I think it's just giving them the words of encouragement, because most of my life I grew up with negative people, not negative in a bad way, that they didn't know what they knew. They didn't know the ripple effects that would have on me later in my life. So the strategy for me to allow people to empower them to own the physical transformation is that they can do anything they set their mind to, as long as they believe in themselves, and just giving them words of affirmation to go out and chase that. And I always say to them, like, just remember that anything can be achievable if you put your mind to it.
Yeah, I love that you are the voice for the people that don't think they can. They can just come and talk to you, and you're like, you're good. You're good. Let's do this. Let's have it happen. All right.
Yeah, thank you.
It's Vic's turn now. How do you integrate quantum physics and universal laws into your coaching practice? And what are some key benefits clients have experienced?
I love this question. It's real simple to implement the quantum physics. Something some people, guys here might know, you guys know quantum, but sometimes when you talk about people with quantum, they're like, what is that? And so for those who are listening to this, it's just the invisible world you can't pick up with your senses, but it connects everything all the physical things are all interconnected with it. And so when I teach clients to understand how consciousness works and how it can actually manipulate matter, we have the studies that show it, then I tell them that wherever you want in your life, it's just a state of a consciousness and a vibration. And when you can tap into the vibration, and this is where I bring in universal laws, because everybody's heard of the law of attraction, or manifesting. And I always say, those are great, but there's the one before all of it, and that's the law of vibration. You cannot experience in your life what you're not vibrating. And so I said, when we could focus on that conscious level and get you to where that is, then all of a sudden law of cause and effect comes in, right? Every action has a reaction. And so we know that what we emit out into the field, then all of a sudden it's going to come back to us, that frequency, that coding, whatever that may be. And now we're starting to play with the law of attraction. Now then law of manifestation can come in, which means now you experience it in your 3D world, which there is unfortunately time and space we have to go through, but there we are as a collective are moving up the ladder. Hopefully we continue to where we won't need as much time, because time's really just an illusion. We can just have it almost instantaneously. Some people argue we can, and we'll get there. Some people are doing that. But long story short, from that, going through those principles, when I try to share that to someone in the business world, when I first got into coaching, especially teaching these principles, it was like voodoo. Like I was trying to sell them snake oil. But even some clients of mine would fight on this. Like, I don't understand. I want the business stuff. And you told me this, and this is great, but I want to get to that level. And I say, okay, well, get there. First of all, you just saying that's creating resistance, because everything's vibration. So, but I've had clients when they finally get into the process and trust it and really understand these quantum principles and universal laws, all of a sudden they don't do anything different, and their business doubles in 4 or 6 months. Or all of a sudden they get out of a relationship they didn't see that was actually horrible, and actually for them they had to go through that experience. But what I mean by horrible is just that it was holding them back in a lot of ways and keeping their vibration low. And they woke up one day and were like, this is not for me. What have I been doing? And it's like they're like, I'm a different person seeing life with a different pair of eyes. And I'm like, that's what happens when you raise consciousness levels. And then all of a sudden, and there's one client I'm speaking of right now, they grow their business, all of a sudden starts to jump up 50-70%, and they're like, I'm not doing anything. Like, these things are just coming to me. And I said, welcome to the real world of work. The lack of, the law of least effort, right? What's the least amount of work to get the least amount of work to get the greatest gain? And, like your brain works in the law of least, I'm just sharing more universal laws, but the law of the path of least resistance. That's how electricity works. That's how your brain works in pathways of neurology. And so when the less resistance we have to something, the more we can accept what comes. And so when we utilize all these principles, now all of a sudden, what they really want to choose, they start to step into the creator. They start to really, I'm the creator of my life. I'm the author, and everybody, we all hear this, but now they actually do step in, and they actually get to choose then. What is it that I really want to respond, or whatever may show up, or how do I want to see this happen? And they put their energy imprint on it, like the alchemist that we all really are. And I truly believe that's really when people step into their power. And so I could share many more stories of clients of what they've gone through in different transformations, but it's always amazing for me at the end of the day when I'm watching this, because I get excited over this thing. Just like when I do an adjustment, something happens that I'm just like, I may have expected it, but I'd be like, this is cool. And they're like, you get really excited like a kid. I'm like, yeah, it's just awesome what the body can do, can it? And the same thing here. You might understand these principles. I get so excited to see how things unravel for a client, and to see that like their whole life shifts, and it's so much to the levels of what they want to choose. And when someone can step into their power, it's not only a game changer for them, but it becomes a ripple effect to allow people in their own circle and their own influence to then start to allow others to do the same thing. And that's kind of what one of my main purposes are of what I do, and make sure that always aligns.
Yeah, that's amazing. It is important to note, like you said at the beginning, the quantum is not like a different space. It's all, we're all here. It's all there, right? I mean, the universal laws will work whether you want it or not. So it's important to see or to feel what comes out of your body, drop in your body, and what comes out, because it will come back to you. So that's amazing to be able to guide clients in business to use the quantum, use the universal laws to bring it all back effortlessly is really what I like. I like when things are easy.
Me too.
All right. Yeah, definitely. Kirti, how do you balance your diverse skills in numerology, crystal healing, and other modalities to provide comprehensive guidance to your clients?
Okay. So it actually happens according to the person in front of me. When I started with Reiki only. I started healing people and initiating people into Reiki. But someone told me that Reiki is just the first step. You need to learn some more things. It didn't happen to me until my father died in 2012. At that time, I started connecting to psychic world because I wanted to meet him at any plane. I knew about psychics and mediums, so I started developing my intuition, and with that, I learned so many things. Like I get certification into life coaching and hypnosis, NLP, real reading, and later when I came, leaving my ex, I did my master's in psychology as well. So I learned so many things. And I was like, one day, what should I call myself? Should I call myself a Reiki Grandmaster? Should I call myself a life coach? What should I call myself? And I was so frustrated at that time because I was using all the tools that I learned with people according to their needs. So I sat down into meditation and I asked angels. At that time, I was working with Archangel Michael too closely. So I said, I need help. I want to call myself something, and people acknowledge their work with a tagline or tag, right? So I don't want to be called just life coach. I changed it. At that time, I heard that you can connect to the energies of people, and that's why you are an energy alchemist, because when people come to you, they instantly start feeling changes into you, and that's why you can keep this. It wasn't an easy take to say, hi, I'm Kirti Sharma, I'm an energy alchemist, because people laughed at me. But that happened to stay with me because I actually mix all of these things to help people. Like, if there was a lady who came to me who was going through really hard things, like whatever she wanted to do, nothing happened. Like earlier, it was all good, and then I used my psychic abilities to um, understood what is going on in her family, in her life. I realized that it was some kind of negative thing that was done by someone, and I talk about all the psychic things. I won't say I can feel that it was black magic or something like that done to her and her family, but I asked her to check out her family and places where it could be. She didn't find anything. So what I did was I cleared the energy of her home. I cleared the energy of everyone living in there. See, with time, things started changing. So it is all about energy and vibrations, as we all are talking about. But with that vibration and with the energy, when the clients come to me, I help them according to their need. And somewhere crystals are needed, somewhere neurology is needed. I mix them up according to the need. And that's how I balance all of this in between.
Yeah, it's so much fun to have different modalities to work with for different needs, right? All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for all the beautiful knowledge that you just brought for new soul business owners. And even if you have a business and you've been in business for a while and you want to transition to being more with the universal laws, with your higher self, understanding how your intuition makes a huge impact into your business, you get a lot of information in this hour that we just did together. But before we leave, I know that some of you have some things going on. Maybe you have a program, maybe you have something that you would like to talk about. So we're going to do one more round, and we're going to start with Vic. Do you have something going on that you would like people to check you out? And remember, everybody, you have the handles right on the corner up here.
Yeah, for all the listeners, whoever, the stuff that I've been sharing and talking about, and what I do, I have a course that you can take, that is all about, it's related to my book called Decoding the Matrix. And but this course is called Decoding Your Matrix. And what this is all about is understanding how the programs and the conditioning of our mind and so forth in the subconscious gets programmed. How do we step out of that so we really can create what it is that we truly desire from a soul perspective, and then guiding people in their principles with breath work and meditation and other tools, that they can use to really go through that. So you can get access to that, totally free for all the listeners, whoever's listening, that I have access for that. So that's what I have going on right now.
Beautiful. And if you didn't get Decoding Your Matrix, we're going to put all the handles in the show notes at the end. All right, Jamie, how about you?
Yeah, so I have a couple of different ways that people can work with me. I do take on individual clients if that's something that anyone listening is interested in. You can find me on Instagram, and I offer a free consultation call so we can discuss if that's something that you're wanting to do. And I've also just released a new program called Radiate. This is a 12-week online course, and it comes with 9 weeks of content plus 12 weeks of group coaching to sort of integrate that content. And it's specifically designed to counteract or get in front of symptoms of burnout. It's very much a 12 weeks of self-discovery, of learning your authenticity, learning how to trust your intuition, and really kind of renew your sense of self and your overall well-being. I'm currently running a cohort now, but I'm going to open the doors again for future enrollments in about a month. But people are welcome to join my wait list. So you can pop on the link from my Instagram bio and you can join the wait list, and you'll be the first to know when the doors open.
Beautiful. So the program is called Radiate, and we will put again the handle at the bottom in the show notes. Neil, how about you? What's going on in your life?
So you all can, those listening and watching, it's Kyle and Currant on my socials. I've got a free ebook. It's the 7 biggest mistakes around objection handling in sales. I've got free meditations, like a few meditations for creating happiness in your life, emotional release. I've also got a couple PDFs you can get through. I'm taking on one-on-one clients at the moment, right now. So feel free to send me a message, give me a follow on my handles above. I'm also on TikTok as well, but mostly Facebook and Instagram. Currently on there through Messenger, so just feel free to reach out. And yeah, group programs are coming soon. I'm taking the space to step back, but also reach out if you need any support with anything related to sales, presence, authenticity, vulnerability, and also any quantum healing.
Yeah, and it's so important to be able to release when it comes to sales and see it in a different way. Like any of us, if we would not be here today, we would be creating some gap, right? Because we wouldn't be serving from our higher self. And so the fact that we're here, we are selling our services, we're offering our services, we're serving from our heart. So releasing anything that is holding you against serving, is against selling, is really a step to go towards your successful business. So thank you for that ebook, and we're going to put the handles in the show notes. How about you, Kirti? What's going on in your world?
I'm developing a modality of my own called Mokshastram, and it is about getting moksha. Moksha is, I lost the word, liberation. So in Hinduism, it is like the cycle of birth and death keeps going on. So when it is time, you reach to a place where you get final liberation and you won't come back. So somehow I connected to that energy. Somehow I am channeling this. I'm still developing it, but that is the main thing that is going on for me. That is that I'm creating. Otherwise, I have a few freebies on my website under the program section, And except that I have monthly healing sessions that goes on 3 times a month. We meet and we meditate on new moon, full moon, and the portals, gate portals. Like it was 6/6 this month. Next month it is going to be 7/7. So that's how I heal with light language and light codes and meditation. And I'm opening the doors to my 3 months course that is called Soul Alchemy, and it is like I'm starting to launch it. And except that I'm taking 101 sessions as well.
Perfect. So everybody, again, you want to connect with Kirti, the handles will be at the bottom, and you also have them in the corner. As we wrap this session, what I would like to go back to is that all of us here are so different in what we do and how we do it and how we bring it forth. But at the end of the day, we're all kind of saying the same thing. So you heard Vic say that the universe teaches us to surrender, that you need to trust where the universe is taking you. And when you understand that you have a choice, then everything will come back to you. And Jamie was talking about reconnecting with authenticity, leading with the heart, and coming back to our own truth. It doesn't matter what you do in life. You can get those two together, your soul business will take off. And then Kyle, yes, I did it at the end. Was talking about having the right people around him, but take it for yourself. Having the right people around you will help you take the next step and coming back to yourself for what you want to create. And he gave you the permission slip to be able to go and do it. Take that next step towards being the whole of who you are. And Kirti reminded us of the why. Why did I start this? Come back to your why, understand your why, be familiar with your why, because like she said, there is so much life, there is so much light and love in life that we need to move on with that light and that love. On this note, everybody, thank you so much for being here with us today on the Soulful Conversation. Thank you, every one of you, for sharing your wisdom. And we will be back in another 2 weeks.